The role of marriage and its definition has evolved over time. Our presentation will trace the origins of marriage and how it existed in a traditional context, what has changed the nature of marriage, and how the concept of family life and relationships has shifted in the 21st century. Marriage, matrimony, wedlock is a union between two individual people. Across different cultures, both the ceremony and marriage vary. Extended family members may be involved, it could be a betrothal or simply a quick ceremony between the couple. History tells us that it was not until 1545 that the presence of a priest or witness was necessary. Previously, it was sufficient simply to have a mutual verbal consent between the two individuals. Following the Protestant Reformation, the recording of marriages was passed to the state from the Church, and it was Lord Hardwicke's Marriage Act in 1753 that ensured that a legal marriage in England and Wales required a formal ceremony. Following this, civil marriage became legal in the Marriage Act of 1836. These developments changed the way the marriage ritual was approached, for it was no longer a simple verbal promise, but a secular and legally binding contract.
According to the Property Relationships Act, a de facto relationship is a relationship or a close personal relationship between two adults who live together and provide domestic support and personal care. Since June 1999, all relationships between two adults 18 years and over who live together as a couple and are not married and are not siblings or a parent or child of each other are considered de facto. This means that homosexual couples are now covered by the law. De facto partnering has risen as an alternate way of living prior to or instead of getting married. Between 2001 to 2006, de facto relationships had risen by 25%. De facto relationships between 2004 and 2009, of which 65.1% were still living together.
These relationships are the main challenge to 21st century ideas of marriage. Legislative reforms at the state, territory and Commonwealth level have removed the majority of legal distinctions between same-sex couples and opposite-sex couples, recognising their relationships in matters such as superannuation, taxation, social security, inheritance and support for veterans. In some states and territories, relationship registers have been created, or arrangements for the recognition of domestic partnerships have been introduced. However, there is still no Australian legislation to allow same-sex marriage or legal recognition of same-sex marriages performed overseas. According to the 2011 census, there were around 33,700 same-sex couples in Australia. Same-sex couples at this time represented about 1% of all couples in Australia, indicating that the likelihood of future marriage is not probable yet.